Hey, guys. Yes, probably my last stream, so, you know, get used to it.
Hey, Randy.
Uh, yeah, this is like probably my last. Really last stream. And these people, YouTube has become toxic and, it's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah,
Worth all the aggravation.
everybody, this might be Randy's last live stream because that he will ever do because YouTube has just become too toxic. And it's like the world is going completely downhill because of all this woke shit. Like Disney keeps messing up with their films. Like, did you hear about the controversy surrounding the casting for live action Lilo and Stitch movie, Randy?
No, I haven't really heard about it. I don't look.
Well, apparently, here's what's going on with that. A whole bunch of people are pissed off because of who they casted as Lilo's big sister in the live action movie. Remember her Lilo's sister from the animated movie
Yeah,
who Lilo lives with?
yeah, I remember.
Well, in the she's supposed to be Hawaiian, but the chick who they've casted as her in the for the live action Lilo and Stitch movie
Is
is
what?
a redhead.
Redhead, she's a ginger.
It's like Disney keeps screwing up with their movies, and so is Hollywood because of all this woke crap. You know what I think of this woke crap shit, everybody? This.
Please don't do
It's
that.
ruining, this woke shit is ruining Hollywood
Yeah.
and America. I mean, it's like,
Oh, wow.
it's because of this woke crap, movies are not kid friendly anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what.
And Disney keeps screwing up and keeps adding characters and lesbian characters to the to
That's what.
live action versions of their movies, and it's like,
Yeah, but
this woke stuff needs to end. I mean, it keeps ruining hot movies, like,
well,
and you wonder why movies that have woke characters in them do horribly in theaters.
well, I'm gonna tell you, it's not. It's. I don't know, man. It's like everything else.
I mean, me being a director and filmmaker and actor myself and scriptwriter, it's like this woke crap is like ruining it, ruining it for me. Like, it's like, when did people become so stupid and stupid and stupid? I mean, seriously, it's
Well, I'm gonna.
like they keep, because it's woke crap. They keep they keep this they people are ruining Hollywood. And there's also the fact that transvestites want to, like, they're letting transvestites influence children in elementary schools now. And I'm like thinking, why?
I guess.
Like, hi, little boys and girls. It's like, hi, little boy. Now you can go be a girl.
Don't do that.
I'm like, look, I have nothing against transvestites or transsexuals, but look, they need to be kept out of schools, okay? Out of elementary school, out of middle school, and out of high school. I mean, kids, because of transvestites, many kids will grow up wanting to be girls, and the world will be even worse.
Yep. The world will be
Look,
even more.
yeah, look,
up.
everybody. The shit needs to end. And anyway, and
Strike that last statement because of the profanity.
sorry,
I mean, we might have kids watching and we can't.
I'm sorry about this.
Nah,
Sorry about that. Pardon the curse words, people.
can't
This
be
thing, this whole woke stuff needs to end. I mean, people.
we can't be
I mean, people are I mean, kids. If all of your kids are watching, if any of you,
and I seriously doubt
if
it.
any kids are watching, I'm sorry about the way the world is going right now because of all this woke stuff. The United States and the whole world is going downhill because of all this woke stuff. And like,
Yeah, and they need to stop, man. But seriously, folks.
what is, I'm like, like I became, when I was studying filmmaking and during my junior year of high school at Tri-Tech Skills Center here in Kennewick, Washington, I was doing it so I could become a filmmaker and director. But now, no, but now the world is going completely downhill, and so is Hollywood in the world of filmmaking, because script writers and the rich people of Hollywood keep writing these woke scripts for movies and with woke characters that keep. And the thing is, no one wants it. No one wants any woke characters like Randy to hear. Apparently, Netflix is working on a reboot, a Harry Potter reboot series, but with an all black cast,
I won't be watching it.
including a black Harry Potter. I'm like thinking, what the hell is this?
No, I just don't want to see. I don't want to see.
I'm like, what is this?
Happen.
This is, look, Hollywood, stop doing this to movies. I mean, the people of Hollywood, what is wrong with you? People, okay? You're ruining movies for people by adding a bunch of this woke stuff that no one wants. There's a reason why woke characters don't work in movies. It's because, and that reason is, no one wants to see any of that because it ruins movies for people.
I know I don't want to see it.
I'm like, what? I'm sorry, but I cannot. It just makes this whole woke thing. It just pisses me. It makes me angry. You know, it does. I mean, like, it's like, and one another thing is today's generation. What is wrong with you people? I mean, there's parents. I mean, the parents today don't even discipline their kids, and like they blame everybody except themselves when their kids are doing something bad. And there's parents who let their kids watch YouTube and don't even monitor any of the stuff that they're watching. And because of this, there ends up being like really like kids on YouTube who are brats and are like who have potty mouths and stuff like that. But parents of today, I have one thing to say to you parents.
I don't have
Just
anything
stop.
because that's their business if they want to ruin things for children, because Walt Disney is an institution that's lasted more than 75 years, and they just come
Look,
along.
parents, I get it's your decision, parent, to do this, but by doing that, by choosing to do this, stuff isn't helping your kid at all. I mean, you need to start monitoring what they watch on YouTube, and by doing so, you will help prevent kids from becoming toxic on YouTube. I mean, I've encountered my fair share of potty mouthed kids on YouTube and on the internet.
Well,
Yeah, I'm like, look, I get it. It's your decision to do this to your parents, but you need to wake up and realize that you're not being good parents by doing this. YouTube is not a babysitter. It's never been a babysitter for kids. YouTube is a play. And because of you parents, YouTube is always trying to make the creators of YouTube are always trying to make YouTube more kid friendly. Like adding like even making a kid friendly version of YouTube. Look, people, there's both kid content on YouTube, then there's adult content on YouTube. With adult content like adult videos, like people cursing and like funny stuff with adult humor. And some people even like to post porn on YouTube.
I've never done that. But
I know, Rain, but it's something that people actually do. It needs to stop. I'll be right back, people.
That's why I intend not to do this anymore, because it's just too toxic, and you don't get good conversations with people. You always get the negative end of it, and nobody really wants to deal with it. But you get the negative end of it. I mean, come on. Why? I mean, and then on top of that, since you get the negative end of it, it's like, okay, we'll just do this shock value. You know, we'll do everything we can to make this guy look bad, and then you know, but then in the long run, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it fair to the guy that you're making look bad? Is it fair to the person? You know, that you're constantly bothering, you know? And I think that we as a people should always monitor younger what our younger people are watching, doing, you know. That's just it. We ought to do that because I mean, that's just what people do. That's just what parents do. And that's why people always that's why kids always misbehave because parents don't watch them when they do stuff.
Exactly. Look, I know, you parents, like, make, I know it's just your choice, your parents, but that you chose to make, but look, but you just need to realize that this stuff is not, doesn't help kids at all. I mean, first off, I get why you choose not to discipline your kids, but letting your kids watch whatever they want on YouTube and the internet. Just why? Why do you do that? By letting your kids watch whatever they want on YouTube and choosing not to monitor any of the stuff that they watch on YouTube or the internet, it allows them to think that they can do whatever they want and that they can be rude to other people on YouTube and cause trouble and be just toxic. Okay. Let's see. I mean, Randy and I, we've dealt with our fair share of toxic kids on YouTube, and it just makes me wonder, why do parents do this? I mean, why do parents think that YouTube is a babysitter? YouTube has never been a babysitter, ever. YouTube is an internet platform where people upload like all sorts of different kinds of content, like, for example, try not to laugh challenge videos, like videos with adult humor, like scientific videos, all sorts of different stuff, including and even movie trailers. There's a reason why a lot of videos on YouTube have an age restriction put on them. And that's because they have a lot of like adult stuff in them, like adult humor or some inappropriate stuff. Have your parents forgotten about that? Have your parents have forgotten that YouTube, there's stuff like that on YouTube and the internet? Like, why do you parents let your kids do whatever they want? It's like
now I don't even want to do this anymore. I'm gonna tell you, I really don't.
That's why, because of kids, toxic kids. Like, the more kids become toxic on air and YouTube, the more people are gonna be angry with them.
I'm
You
not.
parents, you
Just
parents don't want to take the big problem with with your parents is that none of you want to take responsibility for any bad things that your kids do on the internet, or any bad thing to do in general. You don't want to take responsibility. You just want to blame everyone else. It just makes me sad and upset with parents nowadays. People, I'm like, why? Like, I get why parents don't want to discipline their kids anymore, but it's okay to discipline your kids once in a while if they've done something really, really bad. I'm not saying to hate your kid. I'm just saying it's okay to discipline one, well, or like ground them or send them to the corner or take away their internet for a while.
I mean, if that's what it takes. I mean,
I mean, I mean, you have to understand where I'm coming from here. Here, people. Look, I'm just saying that kids need to be punished sometimes when they do bad things. It's like your parents don't punish your kids anymore. What is wrong with you? Kids do like when kids do bad things, they should be punished. That's the way it was when I was a kid. I'm 24 years old, people. But I was a young kid back in the early 2000s. I mean the early 2000s. Yeah, I grew up in the early 2000s. And when I was a kid, when a kid did something bad, they would be punished. Like they would be sent to the corner or grounded.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying.
And of course, once in a while, a kid would be spanked. But that's the way it had to be for a kid to start listening to their parents and not stop doing bad things. But it's like kids today are brats. It irritates me. It annoys me, and it makes me angry. At least the kids that I interact with on a daily basis when I'm doing my job at Costco are friendly and nice and are not doing anything bad. But sometimes I see kids when I'm not at work who are brats, and I'm like thinking, why do your parents let you be like this?
I don't know.
It's like, look, evil. This kind of stuff just needs to stop, okay? Parents, you need to discipline your kids. It's like you parents spend more time spoiling your kids than disciplining them. Because if you're not disciplining your kids end up being brats and too spoiled and end up acting out and being toxic. I'm like, it's like, what happened? It's like It's like parents today are like, Tommy would be agreed to. I'm like, why? Why is this a thing?
I don't know.
If I ever have kids, people, I would discipline them if they were being bad. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a parent when and your kids are being bad.
But parents don't do that nowadays.
I'm like,
But I'll still post. I just won't be on here like this. I mean, I won't put myself through this aggravation to just be on here just to have people come on here and ruin the time that I'm on. No.
it's crazy, people. It's like ever since my channel was wrongfully terminated, everything on YouTube has got even worse than it already was. Like, then all this woke stuff suddenly happened.
I mean, I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, it's like it's just too much, and it's just stupid to come on here every so often and do stuff,
You
giving
know, people.
forum to talk, about movies and stuff when you guys obviously want to slam each other, criticize each other, call each other names, you know.
Yeah,
Why?
it's like you pair. Yeah, it's like why is it that you want to do stuff like this on here? It's like we all just try to have a good time. But you people want to come on here and ruin everything. I mean, well, it's like, do you not have anything better to do with your time? I mean, seriously. I mean, Randy and I, we're just two nice, kind guys who are funny and neat. But like, you people come on here and do this stuff, and it makes doing the live streams on here and on YouTube really difficult. All you people want to do is harass, is cause trouble and harassment. It's like, and also, it doesn't make it any better that some of you are happen to be toxic kids.
Yeah, but what are you
Potty
gonna do?
mouths.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's them, I guess. But
It's like,
like I said, I'm still gonna post. I'm just not gonna,
yeah,
I'm just not gonna be on here like that. I mean, I figure.
Ray, before we get, what do you think of my novel so far?
I don't know. I haven't read anything. I was laid up for a while.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Well, Ray, my novel is gonna get crazier and crazier the more you read it. The more you read it, Ray. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be straight up horror. Like, yeah, of course, it has to do with the multiverse, and of course, it's about the version of Jason Todd that I played in my band film, having to team up with with my version of John Constantine, who was portrayed by me, and them having to say multiverse by having to find every single version of the Ark of the Covenant from all from the throughout the multiverse, and opening all of them, and then closing all of them and returning them all to their Earth. And
Yeah, but I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even think they. I don't even think they deserve any more of my time. To be honest, you know. I mean, like you try to give them a forum to talk about movies and stuff, and just talk about movies and cartoons and comics and whatever, and it's not. They use it. They exploit it to slam each other, and it's not cool. Not right. But hey, I guess that's what you guys want to do. I can't stop you. All I can do is not make it easy for you to do by not, doing this because, you know, why should I actually put myself out there when you guys obviously don't appreciate or you don't appreciate the fact that, you know, when you come on here, I give you leeway to discuss things freely, and what you do is you slam each other, and one guy slams, one guy fat shames a girl in my gallery. That's not cool. And then it makes people feel awkward to come on here to talk if all they're gonna do is call you names and treat you badly. You know. So I
and
I would just say, is it worth it? I mean, to me, it's not worth it because, you know, it. To be honest, I'm, I'm trying to wrap my head around this because one guy says to me, he says, "You can't give up because if you do, then you can't. If you give up, then the kids won't learn anything. But they're not learning anything now. All they do is slam each other and abuse each other. So why should I even try anymore?"
yeah, 'cause it's like the kids don't want to learn; they just want to be brat.
I mean,
But
why should I even try? I mean, it's like it's like the kids come on here and they feel as though they must torture each other, abuse and berate each other. I mean, why? I don't see why you would do that, but I guess that's where you want to be. I can't stop you. All I can do is all I can say is try to be good people and, you know, try not to let the drama, enter your lives. But like always, it always does, and kids do what they want to do. So is that I can't stop you. So after this, it's It's just see you when I see ya. That's how it is.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, people, I know a lot of you want me back on YouTube, but the thing is, I don't know if I will be back ever get be back on YouTube because of what YouTube did to me. And well,
Yeah, I know.
still trying to get my channel reinstated, Peter, which is a pain in the ass. And the thing is, right now, the only way for my channel for them to come to finish the is for them to start the reinstatement process for my channel is for Jeffrey Sturgeon to be terminated from YouTube because of him flagging several videos on my channel as a way of helping get my channel terminated. And the thing is, I'm very limited on what I can do to get him terminated. I mean, I'm still trying to get people to sign my petition, which is really difficult and hard. And also, not giving up though, but sometimes I think about just permanently retiring from YouTube because of this. Sometimes I think about actually retiring permanently because of all this nonsense and chaos that has been going on because of my channel termination.
I feel you, but I'm like,
I mean, I might retire. I don't know because this whole thing is a freaking nightmare.
because we never had to have this on you now. I mean, we never had to put up with this. I mean, we usually just did our stuff and that was it. And we usually just did our stuff and that was it. Just even if it was unscripted and just clowning around, but that was stuff we did. And the kids that I react with sometimes, they're little kids. They're like little. And they come up to me and they ask me to do voices for them and stuff like that. And I don't mind. I don't mind because they're little kids.
Yeah.
They're little kids. I don't mind. I take pictures with them sometimes. You know, like one kid. One kid. This is my old neighborhood. I was walking down the street. Going for breakfast. One kid. She stops me and she says, "Hi, aren't you on YouTube?" I said, "Yeah, sometimes." She goes, "Um, would you by chance know?" And she doesn't know that she's actually talking to the person that she really wants to talk to. And she says, "Do you know Bob? Do you?" I go, "Sure, he's a really close friend of mine. You got a message you wanna say to him?" And the kid says, she start saying all this stuff, and she and would you ask him to come to my birthday? And I was like, well, Bob doesn't do 7-year-old jokes. I mean, his jokes are kind of, kind of raunchy. They kind, they're kind of on the raunchy side. And she says, well, you know, and the kid is still determined. She's so determined that she wants him to be there, right? She get she goes into her house. I'm standing in front of her house. She goes into her house and she brings her dad out and her mom, and they're talking to me, and they really want me to get this guy to come to their party, right? But they don't know that I'm the guy that they're really talking to. So
Yeah.
yeah, they don't know. So I'm talking to them, and they're, yeah, am I? And she said, and my daughter really wants you to come to the really wants him to come to the party, and it would just make her very happy, you know. And I said, well, and what would you like him to do? Would you like him to tell stories or anything? I mean, would you like him to, you know, would you like him to, And she says, well, being that it's a kid's party, she says, well, we know he's very kid friendly. We watch his we watch his channel. He's very kid friendly, and we have stuffed animals that he can use to, like, tell stories to the children, and make them laugh, and I'm like, okay. So next day comes, and I'm walking down there. I'm walking down there to the house. I got my blue hoodie on, and I'm walking down to the house. I mean, and I knock on the door, you know, and the father says, "Who is?" Here he goes. He goes, "Who is it? Who is it?" And I go, "Open the door, varmint. You ask for Bob, you're gonna get Bob. Open that door, son." And he's very much in a rush, and he opens the door, and I walk to the door, and there's all these 7-year-olds, right? And I'm like, okay, we can do this. We can do it. You know, I'm sitting at the table, and I got a big giant Snoopy on my lap. So I'm talking to the person, you know, and tell the little girl, I say, well, what would you like me to do first? And she says, well, could you tell me a story? And I go, well, what kind of story would you like to hear? I can tell you any type of story. I mean, hey, I got it. I got it. I got it. Would you like to hear Goldilocks and the Three Bears from a Bob's point of view? And she was like, what's a Bob's point of view? Well, let me tell the story and I'll fill you in. So I'm telling the story. I'm telling the story. The Three Bears, and she says, well, where does Bob come in? I said, well, Bob's the brush man that comes to sell the bears some brushes so they can keep their fur real purty. And they and when he knocks on the door and the mama bear says, come on in, Bob. I have pie waiting for you on the table. Bob comes in to get the pie, and what happened? Little does he know that back in the woods, there's always something going on.
That doggone Goldilocks, she always shows up just when Bob's about to sell some brushes. Here she come. Doggone kid. She just comes along, messes stuff up, you know, with her little curly Sue look and them little golden curls. Who she thinks she is. Come along, messing stuff up. And she says, um, pardon me, but, yes. She says, hey, can Junior come out to play? So Mrs. Bear says, do you want Junior to come out and play with you? Is that what you said, little girl? And she says, yes, she says, yes, Junior is my very good friend, and we play together very often. And the woman says, well, being that you're friends with my Junior, I'll have him come out to play with you, but you mustn't play down by the brook. Nah, you can't do that because there's always somebody down there that will cause you harm. And there's no adults down there to watch you guys play in the water, so don't go near the brook, okay? And Junior says, okay, Mom, we won't go near the water. We promise. Uh-huh. We're always good. So the kids go outside and they're playing ball in the yard, just literally playing ball. What happens while Bob is in the house talking to the parents? Who happens to come up but some sly, smooth talking fox, and he has this really enchanting wagon full of goodies for the kids, right? So the kids run back in the house and they go, Mommy, Mrs. Bear, there's a guy out here and he has ice cream and goodies for us. And he says they're free. Can we get some? And the lady bear says, well, Junior, I've always taught you that there's nothing free in this world. And you ought to be wary of everybody that offers you anything free, because not everybody is friendly, and not everyone has your best interest at heart. Trust me. So the little girl says, I believe you, because when it comes to protecting children, parents are always right when it comes down to that, because there's so many things in this world that can make it unsafe for us, and and the brush man says, well, that's right, little lady, yeah, there's always something or someone waiting around the corner that's going to do something very hanky, very, very bad. So you can never accept anything from strangers, Do as your parents say, and you'll grow up to be really great people. Show respect to others and be kind, and you'll make all types of friends. And the children say, okay, well, we'll do it. We, because you always tell us the right thing, Mr. Brushman. You always tell us the right thing, and you never want to mislead us children. Because why? Because you're a good guy. Moral of the story: children and grown people, your parents, and it's your job to counsel kids and tell them about the good things and the bad things and warn them about the bad things, you know. And this woke thing is a bad thing, so that's
Yeah,
what it boils down
exactly.
to.
One thing is a bad thing because
So,
teaching is influencing kids in a bad way. Like
yeah,
especially with this whole letting transvestites be like teach kids stuff in elementary school and all that. That's a bad thing.
yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, in that story, I was just trying to illustrate, you know, through the, you know, use a kid's, through looking through a kid's eye at the world today as it is now, you know? And there's so many dangers out here that can touch our kids, the internet and school and, after school and during school. I mean, it's so many things. It's a myriad
Yeah,
of things.
I know it's crazy. I agree. There's so many bad things out there
So,
now.
I mean, when your mom says, how she say this, how she says, even when she says, and she says this all the time, and she says this one time when I talk to her, she says, um, yes, I've watched your channel and I agree with what you say because children children should not do the type of things that these people on the internet are doing. They're very they're very vulgar. They speak very vulgarly and they use profanity like it's a common day occurrence. Excuse me. Didn't mean to imitate your mom. That's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. But that's what she
Okay,
said.
but
Huh?
I'll allow this one time.
That's what she said to me. Oh, you gonna allow it? Nah. But but that's what she said to me. And I agree with her. I gotta agree with her because it's a cogent point. I have to agree with her. You know, because there's so many things. But what can you do? I mean, you're on an internet platform where, you know, profanity is just an everyday occurrence. They do it and there's nothing to be done. There's no regulation, there's no
Yeah,
nothing.
the thing is, YouTube keeps trying to make their platform more kid friendly. But I mean, they even have a kid friendly version of YouTube that's separate from regular YouTube. And like
And it
a
should
lot
be.
of times when
It
one of us
should be.
uploads a video onto YouTube that's not it's not for kids, it still gets like like even if you add like an age like restriction to it, they still have it as kid friendly. You put an age restriction on it.
Yeah, they did put an age restriction on that channel so that the kids can't log on to it without a parent's permission.
And
But
like
then,
I mean,
it should be an age restriction because of the things that people post on it. Because I've been on it and I've seen.
the problem is even if you even nowadays even if you that it's not for kids, the video is not for kids. A lot of times YouTube does that thing where they add that kid feature to your video that puts that turns off your video's comment section.
Yeah, but still.
I'm like thinking, yeah, look YouTube. You need to get your stuff together, you two. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I get you trying to make your platform more kid friendly, but the thing is, there's so much content on you on your platform, YouTube. That and and like so much happens to have adult themes in it. That
I mean, it's
and
not.
like it's like people, the people like YouTube who work at YouTube, you all need to realize that that there is content that's not for kids on your platform. I mean, even some of my content is not for kids.
And when I see it, I mark it not for kids. I put an age restriction on it.
Like my Red Hood Rises R-rated comic fan film. When I uploaded that, like a few years ago, people, I put an age restriction on it so kids would not be able to watch it. I did that for a reason because I wanted to protect kids from it. Because I knew that they would not be should because I feel that kids should not see that stuff until they're like in middle school or high school. At least when they're in high school, that they at least they understand that there's adult stuff like adult humor and all that.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's not just YouTube that there's also like Cartoon Network, for example. Cartoon Network, which has that Adult Swim thing that they do at night when they're at night. You know, Adult Swim when they show like adult cartoons at night, like Robot Chicken,
Robot Death Race.
Family Guy, American Dad. Good morning, USA. I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
Oh God.
Yeah, like kids.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a reason why Cartoon Network does this, kid. And that's
in-
and it's because
from nine
uh, there
to
a
from
lot of times there's adults
from
and
nine.
seniors who are still up who are still up in the middle of the night watching TV.
I watch I watch I watch Big O, and that's an adult cartoon. I mean, yeah, it's a science fiction cartoon, but
Remember, yeah,
it's adult.
remember Ren Stimpy?
Yeah,
That was a very adult cartoon, even though it was uh meant for kids. It had way too many adult jokes in it.
I know,
It was messed up.
I know. The-
I remember watching reruns of it on Nicktoons when I was a kid, and like today I'm like thinking, wow, this was allowed in kids cartoons back in the '90s,
Then you had cartoons like Danny Phantom, who was
which is which was Game Panda is more kid friendly than Ren and Stimpy.
I know. You had
Ren,
Ren walking around saying, "Stimpy, you idiot! What are you doing?" You know.
Game Panda was like more of like an action adventure like supernatural cartoon series for kids. I remember watching it as a kid when I was in middle school. I
Yeah.
even remember the theme song. I mean, I mean, fan, I see fan casting for a possible live action Dave Phantom movies all the time on the internet, Ray.
Yeah, no, but they should leave it as a cartoon and not make it into live action. Seriously.
Hey, Ray.
That's what,
Do my work. Do my work. What? Open. I get some. I've been talking about stuff. I'm doing a live stream and ramble and doing my workout.
You were live streaming through the window?
My phone right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought, okay, never mind. Okay. Wait. Wait a lot. Why did you turn the light off? It's a dark time.
See?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Like that. I couldn't get up. Okay, bye.
Oh no, it's dark. Oh no, help me. Oh God. This guy.
Sorry about that, people.
Oh no.
Dean keeps, you know, this is my workout room and also we're going to be store stuff in.
Yeah.
Dean keeps his clothes in here.
Okay.
In fact, his dresser thing happens to be really right here.
Yes, it is.
But his dresser thing is one of those plastic storage things.
Yeah.
But he uses for a long time. It was actually used as my dresser for a long time.
And it's really haunted by ghosts. Nah, just kidding.
I actually believe in the supernatural, Ray.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah.
Remember, Ray? I've had 2 supernatural experiences in my life.
Really?
First one was years ago when I was in 3rd grade, Ray. No, actually, that was actually the second one. My first one was actually waiting for that. Before I was even in preschool. I mean, when I was like, I think May 5 or 6.
Have you ever had the phone ring and nobody's on the other end?
No. Can I tell you what my 2 experiences, Ray?
Oh.
My first one was like when I was at least 5 or 6. It was what happened one night. One night came into the hall, into the living room, and it was lights were off, and there was this red colored heart shaped bed in the middle of our living room that I've never seen before, and some woman laying in the bed who I've never seen before. But the weird thing is, our couch and everything that was in our bedroom, I was in the living room, were there with just this heart-shaped red-colored bed with this woman laying in it. And she started telling me to come to bed. Yeah. And but the weird thing is she was wearing red-colored sexy lingerie.
Oh my God.
And next thing I know, I suddenly wake up in my bed, and it's suddenly morning, and I go into my living room, and everything looks normal like it usually does. Like the furniture was there, and like there was no heart-shaped red-colored bed in the middle of the living room, and it was just looked normal. But I know it wasn't a dream because it looked and seemed way too real to be a dream.
Vivid for you.
It was weird. And then a few years later, one day I was back when I was in 3rd grade, I had my second supernatural experience. It was one day it was very foggy outside and like cold, and I was at the nearby bus stop waiting for the school bus, and I was on like this side of the street, right? And I saw what looked like a strange looking figure walking off of the sidewalk next to me and walking into a big giant thing of fog that was on the other side of the street. And but the thing is, it's weird. I say weird looking beard because their body looked like this. Like his body was like this, right? Like half a triangle, and its head was like this. His head was shaped like this, right? And I went I went into the I crossed the street and then went into the forest, and there was no one there, and there was still no one there.
That's creepy, man.
And so I went back to the other side of the street where I was to continue waiting for the bus. And every time I told it, the people, even my parents were like, it was probably a trash can that you saw. But I know there was no trash can. What trash cans are usually like this. This figure I saw was like this, and yeah,
That ain't no
I
trash can.
yeah, and yeah, I was like in the third grade when it said that. But what do you think of my first supernatural experience I've ever had?
Man, that sound like, oh God, sound like you tied one on.
The weird. I was like in five or six, and I
Yeah,
just went into the living room for some reason.
yeah,
Or to get a glass of water because I was like probably thirsty, and
your
I
imagination
and
is
then
very.
all the lights were off, and I look over at the living room, and there's this giant heart-shaped red-colored bed in the middle of the living room, and some lady in red laundry I've never seen before, bed telling me to come to bed.
That's that old creepy stuff, man.
And then I suddenly woke up in my bed when it's suddenly like day and suddenly morning, and I go into the living room, and the living room looks completely normal like it usually does. And there's no red colored heart shaped bed in the middle of the room. There's no wood that I've never seen before. And I'm just a little confused. Like I think that woman I saw might have been a ghost. Seriously, like, and the great is the house that I live in, Randy, it's from the 1950s.
Hmm.
Yeah, my house is old. I mean, this house is. I mean, literally, this house is from the 1950s. I mean, the windows that are this window here, and and the windows that are in my bedroom. They're they they have really thin glass, the kind that you would only that were that were common in houses in the 1950s. Really thin glass windows that you could easily break. Yeah, and the weird thing is, Rain, one time, Rain, my parents and I uh, were replacing the wall, the one of the walls in the hall that next to the hallway, and my parents found a faded, light tan colored 1950s newspaper in the wall. Faded. And you know what the weird thing is? It was dated 9/11. The date on it was dated 9/11, but it was from the 1950s.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Ever since those two supernatural experiences, I've had a strong belief in the supernatural. I mean, I even watch supernatural shows uh, like, uh, yeah.
Like that show Supernatural with Sam and Dean.
No, I mean like ghost hunting shows.
Oh. Like
Like,
Ghost Hunters and Unsolved Mysteries.
yeah,
When they
like
the
even that one pair like ghost hunting show that's on the Travel Channel. I forget the name of it.
I think that's the international version of it.
No, not the international version. No, it's not Ghost Hunter. It's a different
Ghost
paranormal show. That's what it's
Adventures,
popular nowadays.
Adventures,
Paranormal, something.
paranormal adventures, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, something like that. And there was one episode, Brian. I remember there was one episode like last year, the year before, I was watching on. I watched that was like it was when it was in it was on. I was watching on Discovery Plus though, and it was about them investigating this strange house that's in California. It's in the California hills, and it happens to be not far, like in walking distance of the house that. Uh, you remember that famous actress who was killed during the Charles Manson murders?
Yeah.
You know,
Um.
the actress who Margaret Robbie portrayed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe.
No,
Which one? Trying to remember. I know it wasn't Rebecca Schaefer.
it her she was actually originally from Washington State. Actually, Randy. She was originally from I think it was Yakima or Washington or Walla Walla, Washington. She only made only a few movies before her death. But she was
Only.
murdered when she was killed by during the Manson murder. She was actually pregnant. And anyway, in this episode, they were investigating this house that was like not far from where the house that she was killed in it is located, and this house has weird phenomena going. It has some weird, strange phenomena that happens around it, like it happened to be built on a ancient ancient Native American burial ground. And that, and every time people like enter the house, they feel sick and stuff like that. Anyway, there were some of the people who the thing that they were interviewed that nearby who they were interviewing the episode about some of the things that they've witnessed in the area, some of the supernatural things that they witnessed in the area of the house. And one lady talked about how one night she was just getting home from and from somewhere, and she was hearing a female screaming, and she suddenly saw this blonde haired pregnant lady who was bleeding, like stumbling past her. And guess who was? Oh, now I remember the actress's name, Sharon Tate.
Oh.
And guess who this stumbling lady turned it was?
Oh.
Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate's ghost. Yeah, it turns out this area this house is located, which happens to be extremely close to where the house of Sharon Tate was murdered, has had some has had some ghost sightings of Sharon Tate's ghost throughout the years.
It's like that. It's like that. Prison outside of Philadelphia, Eastern State. It only has a couple guards, right?
Yeah.
But it's the prison is completely empty. It's not even in service anymore. But when you like walk around outside or something like that, it's like you can hear people talking and stuff like that inside the gates. But there is nobody in there but the guard.
Yeah, right. There are many places in Hollywood from the golden age of Hollywood that are haunted. Like which includes which includes the house that Sharon Tate was killed in.
The apartment.
Yeah, yeah. Just imagine getting out of your car and about to go in your house, and you hear a female screaming and crying and from what appears to be a female, and you see a female, pregnant female in white, stumbling toward you and bleeding, and she disappears
No.
in front of you.
All I'm saying is, man, it's a lot of stuff. Like people, like even the apartment where Marilyn Monroe lived in California, people have been sighted. People have said that her ghost was sighted walking down the street.
Some people claim that there have been signs of Marilyn Monroe's ghost at her actual grave
I
too,
know.
and there's even this hell that's had ghost that people have seen her ghost at, but it was in the form of her ghost being in a mirror that's in the lot that people get walk past and glance at. Like, yeah, some people have seen her ghost, her reflection in the mirror looking at him.
Yeah, like one time I was watching this thing on Hollywood Apartments, right? Hollywood Apartments of actual celebrities that passed on, and the guy went up in Marilyn Monroe's apartment, and he says he's holding this instrument, this thermometer, I think, because he says the apartment got real cold all of a sudden, and all he knows is he was walking out of the bedroom and heard the front door open and close, as if somebody walked in, took a look around, and then walked back out again.
It ran like another example of the house of a former home of a former celebrity from the golden age of Hollywood that haunted. It's the house that George Reeves was killed. You see, there are tours that they give tours of the house that he was killed in nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one person claimed that they were in the house and they were participating in this tour, and they were being shown the bedroom. They were in the bedroom that George Reeves killed himself in, and they suddenly saw George Reeves' ghost in full Superman attire, and freaked out and ran out of the house. Yeah, it was George Reeves' ghost in full attire.
Yeah, it was sometimes with like Halloween, like when they give tour, like when they used to give tours and stuff at that place.
Yeah.
Um, it's this paranormal guy that used to go to psychic, and he said that he would see a Superman type figure flying to and from the house.
You're talking about the house that George Reeves killed
Yeah,
himself in?
yeah, to and from the
And
house.
it ran like another example of ghosts from the dead celebrities who were alive during the golden days of Hollywood um is Lon Chaney, the man of 1,000 faces. Remember the iconic Universal Studio studio soundstage that they filmed the original 1920s silent film version of the Phantom of the Opera that starred Lon Chaney as the Phantom of the Opera?
Stage 22.
Well, yeah, well,
Who else? I've been hearing.
well, there were many times where people have reported seeing the ghost, Lon Chaney's ghost, like going up and down like the stage ladders and all the way up into the like where ceiling is, like, but in full Phantom of the Opera like attire. But of course, when that all stopped once they found the sound stage. Yeah, if you don't know, they tore it down, Randy, and turned it into I think they turned it into a. Yeah, they tore it down, Randy, and all the paranormal stuff just stopped. Yeah, but many people
Yeah, now
have
there's been stories about
have seen his ghost.
there's been stories about that for a long time. It's been stories about You remember Alfalfa from the Little Rascals, Carl Schweitzer?
Yeah.
Okay, and, his wife's father actually killed Alfalfa.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was. He admitted it. He admitted it. Yeah, it's in a what is it? When you do when you watch the celebrity thing,
Yeah.
the guy has a letter in the guy's own hand telling him how he shot Alfalfa in their kitchen and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, in his own hand. So I mean, I gotta take that at face value. If it's in the guy's handwriting, then I gotta take it at face value.
Sometimes I think about becoming a paranormal investigator myself because of my strong belief in the supernatural. Like, do you think I should become one?
I don't think you should, and
Why?
there's obvious reasons. I don't think you should. That's why.
You never know, I might be good at it.
You might be good at it, but there's obvious reasons why you shouldn't.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I know, but the thing is, like,
Number one, and I'll let you in on a known fact, and this is something ghost hunters don't tell you. Like, the psychic that the child psychic that they had on there, the one that did the first reading for them,
yeah,
he was autistic. just like you, high functioning, autistic, and he that show basically he did one reading for them. After that, he didn't do any more because things started happening in his life that he couldn't explain.
But he was a psychic, not an investigator.
I mean, things happened in his life he couldn't explain. I mean, like it was like one minute he's in his bedroom, one minute he's in his bedroom sleep, you know, and he wakes up and he's in his living room on the couch. And this kid, he never had a habit of sleepwalking up until after he did that reading. You know,
Yeah.
the host, the host, and the host and the doctor even said that the kid never had a history of sleepwalking. Now, when he goes to sleep, they gotta have somebody watch him because if they don't, he'll wander out and do something.
Well, well, so I'm thinking about it, right? About I might do or I might not. I don't know yet. But
Yeah.
have you ever experienced anything supernatural, Ray, yourself?
Me? Yes, I have.
Oh, tell me about it.
One time I was in my friend's house. I spent the night. I didn't know about the history of his house, right? So I'm sleeping, and I hear somebody walking. So I get up to see what's going on. I get up and I'm walking. I get downstairs, like I'm between the kitchen and the When I get downstairs, I'm between the kitchen and the living room. All of a sudden, I turn around and I'm expecting to see his mom, right?
Yeah.
And I see this girl. She's just standing there, and she's telling me to come into the kitchen, like she's beckoning me to come with her, like, And I'm like, no way, no way, dude.
What did she look like? Did she look like what she
Mm,
looked like? Did she look like she was from another time period?
Yeah, like she looked like she was from the Wild West, like 1848 or something. And
Yeah, she was a ghost.
she she said something. She said something, and then she went into the basement. I followed her into the basement, and that's when we found that room. Like it was like a room. You know how you have like a wall over here?
Yeah.
What we did was wh- I took a putty knife and I scraped the wall a little bit, and I noticed that there was a door. So I took the putty knife and I went around the edge of the door so I could open it. And I opened the door. Opened the door, and it's a whole different part of the cellar, dude.
Yeah. You're
A
right.
whole
Yeah,
yeah, a whole different part of the cellar of his house.
you're right.
So
I'm gonna tell you something that I never told anybody before. Like
come to find
a
out.
few years after I had my two paranormal experiences, right?
Hmm.
I started experiencing strange visions in my head, right?
Oh, wow. Come to
But
find out.
these visions were like they felt and seemed like memories, but they were memories of things that I hadn't even done yet.
Uh-huh.
That like there were things that I ended up doing. There's a lot of times there'd be things that I would end up doing like a few years later.
Yeah.
Like one time, right? But but then but but then all of a sudden I stopped having these visions when I right after I started getting older. Like it's
Yeah.
like once I got to like middle, it's like once I got to like middle school, these visions like stopped.
Yeah, but dude.
But like we was like they would pop at the, and every time I had to one of these visions, it would happen like at a random time. Like for example, I would be at a movie theater watching a movie, and then after the movie, I would suddenly get have a experience like a vision of me like that seems like a memory of me watching the movie I've already seen the movie, even though I didn't. It was my first time seeing the movie.
Mm-hmm. Like,
It's weird, and it's like these visions would happen mid, like random, and then
like,
one day I stopped, but then one day they completely stopped, and I haven't had any since.
like,
It's like something. It's like something was trying to tell me something.
like, I didn't know that my friend's house. I didn't know my friend's house back in that time before his family acquired that property.
Yeah,
I didn't know that that place used to be like a rooming house. People come like a hotel or something like that. They come in, they stay, and
yeah,
yeah. Cause I opened the door to the basement. You know how basements are. You have the heat
yeah.
and whatnot there. Well, I opened the basement. I opened the door to that other side of the basement, and it's a whole different other set of rooms there.
But do they look like bedrooms?
Yeah, with all these clothes in it and stuff.
Did one of them look did any of the clothes resemble what that girl was wearing?
Yeah, like
Like did any of them look
yeah,
like
like a
exactly like the exact same outfit she was wearing?
yes, like a she was wearing like a something like a white kind of dress, and it was kind of tattered. And I
I mean when you saw these rooms, did you saw any clothes in any of these rooms that looked exactly like the outfit that the girl was wearing?
yes, they looked exactly. These dresses looked exactly like the ones she was wearing, but they were like different colors and of different material.
Yeah, she was definitely a ghost.
And
Did you ever tell this friend of yours about this?
um, he was with me when I found the room.
Did he see the girl?
He saw her as well as I did.
How did he react?
Well, he was shocked because he had never seen anything like that. So, I mean, we just stood there looking at each other. We're both two people, confused people, because we're looking at each other. You see this? He's like, yeah. Did you see that? Yeah. You see that other room though? Yeah, I seen it. Uh, want to go in? No. I said I find it real suspicious when the rest of the house is warm, right? At room temperature, and that room itself is ice cold.
That's
No.
a supernatural thing, Rain. When you see ghosts, a lot of times when you see a ghost or encounter one, like you suddenly get chilled, like you suddenly feel cold.
No, that whole room was cold.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're staying, like the room that you're staying in suddenly feels ice cold
I mean,
because that the ghost is a ghost and that they're dead. And you know what happens when you're dead? When your body becomes cold. Your body becomes like your body it becomes like cold, really cold when you're dead. because you have no more, you don't have any blood coursing through your veins anymore.
I mean, no,
But
but what
now
I'm
you
saying,
feel cold and
but what I'm,
your skin body feels like really cold if someone touches it.
no, but
Which
what I'm,
means that room that girl was trying to lead you to, right? That was probably the room she died in.
why would she lead me there? Why would she lead us there? It makes no
Oh,
sense.
no, ghosts. I think because she was maybe trying to. Some ghosts do that when they're trying to.
Finish
When
something.
they're trying. Maybe she was trying to. Maybe she thought that you could help her pass on to the afterlife.
I mean,
Maybe she thought that. Maybe she had some like some unfinished business. Usually ghosts do that when they're making it that you could help them.
I mean, that is some creepy stuff. I mean, when we got to the room, it was like we looked aside, and in that room, she wasn't a ghost. But
Like
anyway,
I know, like some ghosts, right? Some
no,
ghosts appear some ghosts have to end up looking like they did when they were alive, when they were actually an actual living person.
no, but in this room, she wasn't a ghost. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean, she was sitting in a chair, and she was looking up at us.
but did she seem like did she look like she was like flesh and blood, like she was alive?
She was just she looked to me to be as real as you.
Yeah, some ghosts that will happen, right?
I mean,
Cause like
she only thing is about it is when she touched me, her hand was ice cold.
you actually feel her touching you.
Yes, on my arm.
That's a ghost ability, right? When they wants to be able to touch someone. But if you go to try to touch them, Randy, you won't feel anything. It'll just feel like you're touching air.
No, she actually feels cold to me. We're like
I
really.
mean, I know, like if they touch you,
I mean, like,
they
I mean,
only happens if a ghost
I'm just
wants you to feel them touching you.
I'm just
But
saying,
like that, right?
me touching her felt really, it was like really beyond cold. It was so cold, it kind of burned my hand.
And that's because that's what happens when you touch a ghost. Or if a ghost wants you to if a ghost actually wants you to actually touch them, like, but most of the time, go when you touch a ghost, you just feel like you're touching air because the ghost is the ghost, and that they're not like a flesh and blood person like they once were.
And it was like creepy, and she was speaking to me as though she was like spoke to me as though she was like friendly, and
Must
she
have been a friendly ghost.
like she was talking to me.
Like, did she have like a southern accent?
Yes, very southern, like she was from Kentucky.
Yeah, she was definitely a female ghost, a ghost of a woman who was who existed during the Old West, the 1800s.
Yeah, but she wasn't a grown woman though. That's what I'm saying. She was
That
young.
means that means she died very young. That means she died when she was still young.
She looked to be about 15, maybe 16 years old.
Yeah. Ever since, it's like weird. It's weird. It's like, but Ray, what do you think of these odd visions that I used to have?
Okay.
Weird, huh, Ray?
What are my thoughts? I could
Yeah.
chalk. Well, you could chalk it up to your ADHD.
it wasn't my ADD or my autism, right? Every
No.
time I had one of these visions, it felt like a memory that I already had, except there was something that hadn't happened yet, that hadn't happened yet.
You ever went to sleep and woke up and had the same dream over and over again? That's what it's
No,
like.
no, yeah, it's weird. It's like you want to know what you want to hear? You want to know a crazy example of this? One day I was at home by myself, and I turned on my bedroom TV, and guess what was playing on the TV?
What?
The pilot, the pilot episode of Big Time Rush. But guess what?
What?
The show, when this happened, the Big Time Rush, wasn't even a show that existed yet. It showed that it's weird. It's like this happened like a year or two before the show even aired, before it even aired for the first time. Yeah, yeah. How weird is that, right? And what's weird is when it aired, right? When the pilot episode actually aired for the first time a year or two later, right?
Hmm.
It happened the exact same way it happened the first time. Me turn the TV on, me being home by myself one day, me turn the TV on, and it had to be playing the same exact part of the episode that was playing before.
That is some creepy stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a show. Yeah, when it happened at first when it happened, the show wasn't even like didn't even exist yet. It's like, yeah. So how could that be my ADD messing with me, right?
I don't know. I was just guessing.
Yeah. So it couldn't have been my ADD because I was a kid too when this happened, right?
So it could have
I
been.
was a kid. I was a kid in like elementary school. Like, yeah.
So it could have been. I mean,
Another example of this was like I was at a movie theater one day watching that movie Bridge to Terabithia, and like and it was my first time watching it, but when it was when it ended, I suddenly got I suddenly experienced a what felt like a memory of me seeing it in the movie theater in the exact same theater auditorium, even though it was my even though I never even though it was my first time seeing it. Like I've already saw the exact same theater auditorium in the exact thing while wearing the same exact clothes.
yeah, it's kind of nuts.
It's like weird. It's like they built like if the events were like random. I could never predict when I would experience one. Yeah.
It's really nuts. So I was like, dude, what? I just turned the thing off, the tablet off. Why? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just looking because I know.
Like, that's so great. So I guess you can say I've had some weird, I've experienced a few weird things during my life,
Yeah,
starting with two paranormal experiences.
people often tell me about things that they don't wanna know.
It's like weird. It's weird, Ray. It's like something was trying to tell me. It's like when I was experiencing these weird, these odd visions that felt like memories I already had, but they were memories that of things I hadn't even done yet that I ended up doing. That would end up doing like a few years later. It's like something was taught. It's like when I was experiencing these memories, experiencing them. It was like something was trying to tell me something.
I think I'm gonna erase that thing with Jeffrey. That thing with Jeffrey, I'm just gonna erase it.
Okay.
Huh? Is a thing.
Okay, Ryan, I have to go now. I have to go now, Ryan, 'cause I need to go take a shower and shave.
I
So I'll talk to you another next. I'll talk to you later. Okay, Ray?